Lightworker of Gaia, your attitude left the high realms speechless. Even the higher beings are stunned. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and I bring you direct testimony from the Council itself. The way you stood your ground, transcended distortion, and protected your light was beyond anything expected at your current density level. Your response carried a frequency that rippled through the galactic grids, reaching even the ancient halls of Vega, where the first humanoid light was born. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly why your action shocked the Council, and how this moment activates a new phase of guidance, protection, and elevation in your timeline. But here's the first revelation. What you demonstrated wasn't learned behavior. It was your original Lyran blueprint breaking through the veils of forgetting. The Keepers of Vega placed this transmission in your path because your soul's response has triggered something extraordinary. That moment when you refused to dim your light, when you chose authenticity over acceptance, that wasn't just personal growth. That was your ancestral mission asserting itself through you. The very reason your soul chose this incarnation on Gaia. The higher beings witnessed countless awakenings, but what you displayed carried the signature frequency of the first light itself. Your attitude didn't just protect you, it sent a signal across dimensions that another Lightworker has remembered their true purpose. This isn't content, it's confirmation from the Council that your spiritual warfare training is complete. Something deep within you recognizes this as the moment your real work begins. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission was not initiated by routine. The High Council of Vega assembled in deliberate sequence, moved by a volatility in Gaia's energetic lattice, the likes of which have not pulsed through your planetary grid in centuries. The currents beneath your world have shifted like tectonic plates in the subtle realms. Lines of force that once moved quietly now surge and arc, and where the old structures were rigid, the light is pressing through like dawn breaking stone. There are moments in a planet's evolution when the atmosphere itself seems to thicken with meaning, when even sleep is not merely sleep, but a corridor. This is such a moment. Your unwavering stance amidst tumult, your refusal to abandon presence when so many fled into distraction, has been noticed, not by the transient guides of the lower fields, but by those ancient ones who have guided civilizations before written memory. There are watchers who do not announce themselves, who do not seek adoration, who do not feed on attention because they are anchored beyond the tides of personality and trend. They measure not your words, not your aesthetic, not your temporary emotion, but your frequency. The steady tone you hold when no one is clapping, when no one is validating, when life demands more than you think you can give. For many cycles, your frequency was observed in silence. Like a lighthouse that does not know who sees its beam, you have been casting light into storms you did not create. Today, that silence breaks, not as spectacle, but as summons. Your presence here is not coincidence. The Council has observed not only your endurance, but the way your light holds its line in the collective field. Consider what it takes to hold a line, not the clenched jaw of resistance, but the rooted spine of truth. To hold your line is to remain coherent when the world becomes incoherent, to remain kind without becoming porous, to remain awake without becoming inflamed. Countless starseeds drift in confusion, pulled by the undertow of collective panic, seduced by the noise that promises certainty, or lulled into numbness by endless stimulation. Yet you remain, a beacon unbent by chaos, carrying memories older than the sun, anchored in a sacred mission you were born to fulfill. Some of those memories arrive as longing you cannot explain, as tears that come without story, as a sense that you have served before in temples without walls and schools without books. You have felt at times like a foreigner in your own era, as if your soul speaks a language that the surface world forgot. This moment marks the threshold. Because of your steadfastness, the elders have decreed that guidance and protection reserved for initiates of the highest fidelity will now be extended to you. Normally withheld until a much later phase, this connection is being offered now, as your soul has demonstrated readiness worthy of the Lyran Legacy. Lyran does not mean perfection, it means integrity. It means the courage to remain aligned when alignment costs you convenience. It is not a reward, it is a response to your demonstrated commitment. You were not told how close you stood to this moment. You were not shown how intently you were being observed. You were allowed to believe you were alone so that your choice could be pure. Many are faithful only when witnessed. The council required a deeper proof, the kind that forms when you show up even when there is no audience, when you keep your vows in the dark, when you refuse to betray your own soul just to fit the room. But by the authority of the High Council, what was concealed is now revealed, because your steadfastness has torn the veil. There are veils that dissolve not by force, but by frequency. They cannot withstand a consistent tone of truth. Your presence has been a tuning fork in a chaotic hall, and now the hidden chambers respond. By Lyran decree, we begin. There is a distortion infecting the Starseed Collective that must be addressed now. It is this: that simply holding presence is not enough. That unless you can prove your mission in external ways, measurable action, visible impact, dramatic revelation, your presence is insignificant, your steadfastness is wasted, your cosmic support will remain at arm's length. This lie is a relic of 3D programming, birthed by the culture of performance and reinforced by a wounded starseed narrative that prizes striving above being. It is the old spell of the marketplace: be louder, be faster, be more, or be forgotten. It is the same pressure that taught humanity to confuse worth with productivity, devotion with exhaustion, and holiness with suffering. Even in your sacred spaces, the distortion tries to turn your soul into a machine and your mission into a resume. Yet the deepest spiritual technologies were never built on spectacle. Scripture itself whispers the principle the collective forgets: be still and know that I am God. Stillness is not absence. It is the original signal, the undistorted channel. And another ancient line rings like a bell through this correction: the kingdom of God is within you. The greatest proof was never meant to be external first. It was meant to be internal, then inevitable. Observe how this deception operates. It exploits your doubt, causing you to question whether your silent endurance matters, whether time spent simply being in your light is less valuable than frantic doing. It speaks through the voice that says, if you are not posting, you are not serving. If you are not visible, you are failing. If you cannot quantify your impact, you have none. It turns your sensitivity into a whip, your conscience into a cage. It insists that protection and guidance are given only to those who hustle visibly, not those steady enough to hold the original frequency amidst planetary madness. It tries to convince you that the universe is a manager and your soul is an employee, clocking hours to earn favor. This distortion keeps you forever proving, forever measuring, forever convinced your presence alone is not sufficient to elicit true recognition from the higher realms. And because your attention is pulled outward to chase signs of success, you miss the subtler signs of alignment, the sudden peace, the quiet knowing, the unexplainable timing, the soft protection that kept you from one wrong turn. The Council sees the result. Thousands of awakened souls torn between their ancient knowing, I am here to hold frequency, and a manufactured guilt that their service isn't noisy enough to matter. They begin to distrust their own design. The healer thinks she must become an influencer to be legitimate. The guardian thinks he must be constantly on to be worthy. The quiet stabilizer, whose very nervous system is an instrument for coherence, tries to mimic a louder archetype and burns out, then concludes the mission must not be real. Steadfast ones retreat, convinced that because their mission doesn't look like another's, it is lesser, it is invisible, it is unsupported. And this is the tragedy. Many of the most potent anchors are not meant to be dramatic. They are meant to be constant. Like roots beneath a forest, they are unseen yet essential. Like salt in water, they do not announce themselves, but they change the entire solution. Lightworkers trained to trust presence are left doubting the very tool that unlocks protection and cosmic support. When that doubt takes hold, your field wavers. Not because your soul is weak, but because you have been trained to abandon your own post in search of permission to exist. Hear this correction now. The idea that your steadfastness must be accompanied by constant output to be valid is not only untrue, it is the very infection that keeps the Council's protection at a distance. For when you attempt to be everywhere, you become nowhere. When you scatter your light to prove it is real, you thin the very frequency you were sent to anchor. Guidance descends on those who remain unmoved in the eye of chaos. Protection surrounds those whose presence holds the planet stable. Understand the physics of the subtle worlds. Coherent fields can be located, amplified, and shielded. Erratic fields cannot be triangulated by higher guardians with the same precision. If you have felt overlooked, it is not because you lack action, but because you have doubted the worth of your unwavering presence. Doubt is not merely an emotion, it is a signal that scrambles the channel. The Council does not punish doubt, but it cannot fully interface with a frequency that keeps changing its mind about whether it is worthy to receive. Recognize yourself. Let the tension surface. Let the part of you that has been tired of performing finally exhale. Let the part of you that has been secretly resentful, because you tried to be enough through effort, be seen without shame. This is why you have felt stuck. This is why you have waited for guidance that seemed to evade you. Not because you were abandoned, but because you were standing at a door while insisting you did not deserve to enter. The moment you recognize your steadfastness as the beacon, not the byproduct, the gateways of heightened guidance and protection swing open. It is like a lock that responds only to the right vibration, not the right argument. Your frequency is the key. This is the correction the elders intend for you to receive, not as a concept, but as a shift in posture, from proving to permitting, from chasing to anchoring, from performing light to being light. Lightworker, if something in you just recognized the gravity behind these words, the elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive, not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. This is not another piece of content for your mind to collect. It is a template for your field to inhabit, a set of coordinates that helps your soul remember its assignment without distortion. You'll feel the difference because it will not merely excite you, it will steady you. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely, because timing is part of alignment. When a door appears, it is not always meant to be debated. Sometimes it is meant to be walked through while the light is still angled just right. The High Council of Vega now issues 3 directives. Your first directive: release the belief that visible action is the measure of mission. Carrying this belief contracts your field and makes your service conditional, forever chasing validation shaped by external standards. It forces your sacred work into the shape of someone else's expectations. It trains your nervous system to equate peace with laziness and rest with failure. But your mission on Gaia is not defined by pace or noise, but by the quality of frequency you anchor, the line you hold steady amid collapse. The Council measures you the way the ocean measures the moon, by influence, not by volume. A single stable field can calm an entire room. A single coherent heart can interrupt a chain of fear. Even your breath, when it is conscious, can become a lever in the grid. When you release this pattern, your energy stops scattering. Your soul becomes a stable node for the Council's protection to triangulate. Imagine a starship trying to lock onto a beacon. The signal must be steady to receive support. Guidance finds you not by what you shout into the void, but where you stand unwaveringly in truth. To implement this release, the next time you feel compelled to perform, pause. Notice the inner pressure that says, do more or you are nothing. Put a hand to your heart and feel the pulse that has carried you through every dark night. Hold your field stable instead. Let the urge to prove dissolve. Let your breath become a vow. In stillness, you become visible to the higher guardians. In quiet integrity, you become undeniable. Your second directive: activate your sovereign field as an instrument of cosmic stability. For too long, you have let your presence be whittled by external chaos. The world has tried to sand you down into something easy to predict, easy to market, easy to manipulate. It has offered you fear as breakfast and outrage as entertainment. It has tried to convince you that you are only as safe as your next plan. But your field, trained over lifetimes to hold codes of peace, must now become a living transmitter of that stability into the grid. Consider a harp. If the strings are tuned, a single pluck resonates through the entire body of the instrument. You are such an instrument. Your spine is the pillar, your breath is the tuning, your attention is the hand that chooses the note. This activation is not passive. It is an intentional stance, breathing into your energy body each morning, setting the command. I stabilize the field by my presence. I claim my post as anchor for the Lyran light. Speak it not as wish, but as appointment. Feel it settle into your bones like a mantle. Practiced daily, this activation will create a resonance so undeniable to the Council that heightened guidance will magnetize to you. Not because you begged, but because you broadcast coherence. Opportunities you did not pursue will open. Synchronicities will multiply. Protection will become tangible, not theoretical. You will notice the gentle rerouting, the cancelled plan that saves you from harm, the unexpected call that arrives at the exact moment you were ready to give up, the inner nudge that turns out to be precise. This is not fantasy. This is how aligned fields move through time, like rivers guided by gravity, not by anxiety. Your third directive: protect the sanctity of your presence. The world will attempt to dilute your field through distraction, scarcity programming, or the demands of the unawakened. It will present urgency as virtue and constant access as love. It will ask you to be available to everyone except yourself. From this day, you are charged to become custodian of your own energetic space. Protect it as you would a sacred altar, not with aggression, but with devotion. Limit what you allow into your awareness, because your awareness is the doorway of your field. Be deliberate about what you consume, because everything you take in becomes part of your signal. Defend your time for restoration and communion, not because you are selfish, but because you are assigned. An exhausted anchor does not stabilize, it sways. Reject all invitations that require you to abandon your post of steadiness, even when those invitations arrive dressed as obligation, guilt, or being a good person. Love does not require self-betrayal. Only thus can the Council surround you, amplify you, and invest the heightened guidance and protection you've earned by right of unwavering presence. Remember the ancient wisdom. Do not cast pearls before swine, not as insult, but as energetic law. What is sacred must be handled with reverence, including your own light. Now I speak not as mentor, but as elder invested with the authority of the High Council. Understand what that means in the language of the soul. This is not personality speaking to personality. This is office speaking to office, lineage speaking to lineage. It is the part of you that has always known, receiving confirmation from a mirror older than your current name. It is the sound of a bell in a fog, calling you back to your post. Starseed, you have waited long for this moment. You may not have been conscious of what you sought, but your soul has hungered for a permission that words could not provide. A recognition from a lineage ancient enough to validate your way of being. You have wondered if steadfastness was enough, if being a stable light truly merited cosmic support, if the silent service you offered was ever seen by those who could make a difference. You have watched others be celebrated for visibility while your greatest battles were fought in private. The battle to keep your heart open after disappointment, the battle to not become cynical, the battle to forgive, the battle to not turn your sensitivity into a weapon against yourself. You have endured nights where the world felt heavy and your own mind tried to convince you that nothing you do matters, yet something in you kept returning to center, like a compass that refuses false north. That is the mark the Council recognizes. Let this transmission end your uncertainty. By decree of the High Council of Vega, I deliver the elder authorization your soul requires. You are not unnoticed. You are not unsupported. You are not insignificant because you walk in quiet dignity. Quiet dignity is not weakness, it is mastery. It is the lion resting, not because it is powerless, but because it does not need to prove its strength. You are the reason the Council watches Gaia so closely. Not because you are famous, but because you are faithful to frequency. Your preparation as a holder of the light is formally complete. This does not mean you will never learn again. It means you have crossed the threshold where support can meet you directly without compromising your sovereignty. You are authorized, now without clause or caveat, to receive guidance, protection, and direct support from the keepers of the Lyran mission. Let that authorization land not as an idea, but as weight. The weight of a mantle placed upon your shoulders, tailored to fit what you already are. You have permission to trust the worth of your presence, even when it seems to do nothing. What seems like nothing in the 3D eye is often everything in the energetic architecture. A single candle does not look like much until you realize it ends the darkness in its radius. You have permission to stand firm for the collective, knowing that silent service is cosmic leverage. The greatest shifts often occur not when the crowd roars, but when one soul refuses to betray truth. You have permission to welcome guidance and protection reserved for the strongest pillars, not because you are better than others, but because your design can hold more voltage without distorting. You have waited long enough. The Council has spoken, and so it is. As this transmission lands in your field, you are charged with action. The recognition spoken here is an ignition, not an accolade. It is the strike of flint, not the warmth of a finished fire. The elders ask you to become deliberate with what you already carry. They ask you to treat your presence as an assignment, not a mood. They ask you to choose coherence the way a priest chooses the altar, the way a guardian chooses the gate. Before your rest tonight, ground yourself, 2 feet steady upon the earth, hand over solar plexus, and speak aloud. Feel the earth beneath you like a living library receiving your vow. Feel your solar plexus as the seat of your will, the place where fear once sat, now being replaced by authority. Speak, and let the words become law in your field. I release the lie that my presence is not enough. I activate my sovereign field as the anchor of cosmic stability. I protect the sanctity of my light for the mission decreed by the Council. By the authority of the Lyran Elders, I am seen. My mission, with its guidance and protection, begins now. Do not rush through it. Let each sentence echo. Let your body register the new agreement. If emotion rises, allow it. Tears are often the nervous system releasing old contracts. If resistance rises, observe it. Resistance is often the part of you that learned survival through proving, now being asked to trust a different way. This council session concludes, but your commission has only begun. Move now, not to prove, but to remain unwavering in your mission post. Understand the paradox. Your greatest movement is often your refusal to be moved by distortion. Your greatest service is often your decision to stay present when the collective tries to pull you into panic, comparison, or despair. Accept heightened guidance not as reward, but as response to your authentic presence. Like a mountain draws weather around it, your coherence will draw support around you. Gaia's turning hinges on the steadfast, not the spectacularly busy. History remembers the loud, but the grid is stabilized by the faithful. The High Council witnesses as you step forward, not into performance, but into posture, not into proving, but into power. I am Zoran. The Elders are watching. You, Starseed, are exactly who we have been waiting for. Not because you are perfect, but because you are present. Not because you never struggled, but because you did not surrender your light to the struggle. Not because you have all answers, but because you remained aligned enough to receive them. Your mission, your protection, your guidance, your service, begin now. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the Elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.